This is perhaps the first movie of Mr. Bhardwaj that is so different from his own style that we are left thinking this might not be directed by Mr. Vishal Bhardwaj himself at all. It might be the first time Mr. Bhardwaj took style over substance. It's a hyper combination of 1990s Mumbai gang war with western cowboy style and street fighter like action and a little dark twist humor of Vishal Bhardwaj as well. When creators like Shahidh Kapoor and Vishal Bhardwaj come together, you are bound to think about them. You are bound to think what new thing are they bringing in, what new thing are they brewing. Because their last collaborations has given us very good examples of what good creator and a good artist or a good performer like Shahid Kapoor and Vishal Bhardwaj are capable of doing. Be it Kamine, be it Haider, and now coming to O Romeo, what they have managed to cook in this movie. Let's dive a little deep into it, shall we? O Romeo is Vishal Bhardwaj's latest directorial movie, a theatrical release that came out after a long period of time, to be very honest. And this movie is very loosely based from the Mafia Queens of Mumbai, written by Hussein Zaidi, the real life incident or real life story of Sapna Didi, who went to Hussein Ustara, the big gangster back in the time of Mumbai, to give him the assassination case of Dawood Ibrahim. How both of them back then collaborated together to bring down the empire of Dawood Ibrahim was the basic story of the Mafia Queens of Mumbai. Now, why I am emphasizing the word loosely, because this movie takes the premise of that. First of all, there is a big clear disclaimer that this movie is not based on any true incident or does not take inspiration from any real life incident or a real life scenario or real life character. You all know all of these are due to the legal issues that might come due to the real life similarities between all these characters and incidents. But as I said, this movie is loosely based on the book, because as we see in the trailer itself, Tripti Dimri's character, who is playing supposedly the real life character Sapna Didi, but in the movie she is playing Afsan, comes to Arjun Ustara, who is inspired from Hussein Ustara, and gives him the assassination case of Jalal in the movie, and in real life, Dawood Ibrahim. So these are the similarities. We understood it from the trailer itself. Now that's out of the picture. Now coming to how the movie turned out. Now whoever has read the book or might have seen the trailer only may think that this movie is more of an action thriller or a crime genre movie that recently we have seen a lot. The clear example being Dhurandhar. But this movie actually doesn't dive that deep into the era of Mumbai's gangsters or their life that much. It primarily focuses on Ustara's character and then on Tripti Dimri's character, Afsan, how her life started in Mumbai, before Mumbai, then coming into Mumbai, and then what happened with her life, what made her turn into a revenge-driven woman, and why she's so desperate for the revenge and taking help from a character like Shahid Kapoor, who is notorious for his shenanigans, who has some very deep character issues as well, and in general is not a guy who you come to ask help for. From there, the movie starts to focus more on the dynamic between Shahid Kapoor and Tripti Dimri, how both of these characters started a journey towards doom just from their first day of meeting, how Shahid Kapoor, a already broken character, guides Tripti Dimri's character into a journey of shattered road itself. Now coming to the other premises and other characters, Nana Patekar and Shahid Kapoor's combination, their collaboration, their chemistry was looking fine as hell. Both of them share a bittersweet bond between themselves. Basically, Shahid Kapoor character actually works for Nana Patekar's character as a contract assassinator. Nana Patekar's character is actually an intelligence bureau officer who handles all these internal and external gangster cases as well. So he has been spying on the character of Jalal and all his subordinates, henchmen for a long period of time and encountering them one by one through the help of Shahid Kapoor. Basically, Shahid Kapoor gets his hands dirty for Nana Patekar, and Nana Patekar in return gives him safety. And all the scenes these two characters share between themselves are very fun to watch. Shahid Kapoor's character is clearly fed up of Nana Patekar's character, his slavery, all the things he has been doing for Nana Patekar all these years, still getting the belt treatment when anything goes out of hand. And Nana Patekar is basically the orchestrator behind everything. He also determines the fate of Tripti Dimri's character at a certain point of the film as well, but that comes at the later half of the film. Now coming to other characters, the character of Farida Jalal and the side man or the henchman of Arjun Ustara himself. Both of these characters had some very good impact on the story. Farida Jalal's character was the Dadi Amma of Arjun Ustara's character. She rooted him, humbled him and made him down to earth, at least at certain points. The henchman of Arjun Ustara that I am talking about is the kind of a friend that you want to keep in your circle. He's a ride or die kind of a guy who is always by you, always on your side. Be it how much of a ridiculous decision that you made, he is always by you, scolding you, mocking you, but still by you. Now coming to the characters that really made no point. This one could have been seen from miles ahead and almost everyone predicted. Her appearance in this movie was just for the item song, and truth be told, if the item song wasn't in the movie itself, nothing would have hampered. There was no point of having those song numbers or dance numbers in the movie. They contributed nothing to the story. Although I love watching Shahidh Kapoor dancing, especially like that, like a maniac, enjoying himself with full energy. But when you can just cut it off from the story and nothing changes, that kind of dance numbers doesn't really make any sense. And I'm talking about both of the dance numbers that featured Disha Patni. Now coming to some other characters like Vikrant Massi's characters, whose importance comes into play whenever we see Tripti Dimri's character. Both of them are tied in certain way, and you're going to know it better when you watch the movie. Telling about it will give you a spoiler, obviously. His character does play a role in the trajectory of the story of Tripti Dimri's character, and his appearance is brief but still quite impactful. Coming to the surprise element of Tamanna Bhatia, this character is a mixed bag for me. Not from her performance point of view, but from her character's point of view. The way her character is written, it's a little confusing. I cannot say much about the character or what goes on with her character because saying it will give spoiler about the movie, but her character in the movie is suffering from a clinical condition. And by the end of the movie, we get a reveal, we get a twist, and from that twist, her character arc actually changes. And we are left between a dilemma that either is she actually sick, is she pretending to be sick? Has she been manipulating Avinash Tiwari's character till now? Or is it just true but she is so dementiated that everything by now has stopped making sense in her mind and she's just going with the flow? A lot of questions remained unanswered about this character, and honestly, performance wise, she was good, she was convincing, and I'm quite glad to see her in a meaty role, not a substantial role apart from all her item numbers. But from writing point of view, I think she was done dirty. Now coming to the character that is the most oscillating one, that was supposed to be the most intimidating character but left us with some unintentionally funny moments. Avinash Tiwari. Now first I have to make something clear. I made a hypothetical theory in my trailer breakdown video that Avinash Tiwari's character was going to be the secondary villain of this movie and the actual villain was going to be Randeep Hooda. From where I don't even remember that there was a rumor that Randeep Hooda's character was going to be in this movie and he was going to play the character of Dawood Ibrahim. And I believed that theory so much that I thought Avinash Tiwari's character was going to be the secondary villain, and by later half of the movie during the climax we are going to be introduced to Randeep Hooda's character. But that theory was completely bogus and I was completely wrong. I apologize for that. Coming to why I found Avinash Tiwari's character unintentionally funny. Avinash Tiwari's character, the antagonist of the movie, was built in a certain way that was supposed to give him some aura moments. Some moments that hype his character up, that build his aura, that build his reputation, that build a fear amongst all the audiences who are seeing him. Sadly, what actually has happened is all the moments that were supposed to build the aura of Avinash Tiwari, on the contrary, unintentionally put him down. Let me give you an example. There is one particular sequence where Avinash Tiwari and Shahidh Kapoor's character interact with each other for the first time. Our hero is captured in his down phase and villain is on a pedestal, and this is our first interaction to our antagonist Avinash Tiwari as well. So villain is in Spain and our hero is in Kathmandu or somewhere in between, and they both are talking in the phone, and Avinash Tiwari's character is like, hey man, you have killed my brother and blah 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 blah, and Shahidh Kapoor's character is all silent and listening. And during the middle of the phone call, he's in arena watching a bullfight where the matador is struggling. His own matador is struggling to handle the bull, and him in the middle of the phone call is like, you know what, hang on a little, let me first deal with this bull first. And he leaves Shahidh Kapoor hanging in the phone, and Shahidh Kapoor is like, dude, are you there? Should I tell your henchman to cut the phone? He just left him hanging. A lot of the times he's between phone call talking important things with his henchman. He just hands over his phone to someone else and tells him to hang on for a while and does something else. He's doing side quests, he's playing saxophone. Then there is one moment where Tripti Dimri's character is captured, and the guy who captures him brings him to Avinash Tiwari's character in Spain. Now mind you, this is when Avinash Tiwari's character is playing saxophone in front of a big audience, by the way. Now this guy comes in with Tripti Dimri's character, drops Tripti in front of him and begs to him that let him kill Tripti for this time. Let him do the honor. And Avinash Tiwari is busy playing saxophone. He is not minding him at all. So this guy who brought Tripti Dimri out of exhaustion, anger or whatever, sees a tape recorder that was kept by the side of Avinash Tiwari's character and pauses it. And as soon as he pauses it, the saxophone that Avinash Tiwari was playing stopped. He's playing the keys, he's blowing the whistles, but nothing is happening. The tape recorder stopped, his performance also stopped. My man was pulling off a dhamal move on the audience of Spain, and this guy embarrassed him in front of his whole audience. And I don't know what is his power scale or power level in this movie, because every time we see him in a good position, in a high position, Arjun Ustara's character comes him and puts it down just like that. Whenever we feel like he is invincible, he is in a strong position, he is brought down immediately, just like that. He is never established as a character who should be feared, who we should be scared of, because at certain point it felt like Shahidh Kapoor's character was much stronger than that of Avinash Tiwari's character, both physically, mentally and power-wise as well. And the plot armor of all these characters that this movie has is ridiculous. This is a big spoiler, but none of the main characters that you see suffer from anything severe in this movie. They suffer, they go through a process, but they heal at the end. They're kind of back at the point zero from where all the story started. Coming to the action sequences that we saw in the trailer, we are hyped about. The action sequences are actually good. They are designed in a way that they are not heavily dependent on slow-mo. They are actually dependent on the choreography style. There are some sequences that depends on the fast cut of the movement that actually chops up or eats up the choreography a little bit. But apart from that, the choreography was clean, the movement were clear. Shahidh Kapoor performed his choreography sets very well. Avinash Tiwari was playing as a matador. We didn't really see him fight or intimidate anyone clearly in the screen, and whenever he tried to do that, it felt more funny than serious. It was heavily dependent on the character of Shahidh Kapoor, and the first sequence of action that establishes the capability of Shahidh Kapoor as a character was, for me, took me out of the movie for a while, because as his character's name is Ustara, he's heavily dependent on Ustara as a weapon. He doesn't rely on guns either. He's an unlimited supply of Ustara hidden all over his body, and he uses that to counter a lot of opponents, a lot of henchmen at the same time. So having that as the first action sequence as well kind of establishes the mood and tone of the movie. Truth be told, seeing a single guy taking out 50 to 60 men with the help of Ustaras only, a little out of gravity, a little too out of the box, but still the choreography needs to be praised, and the action sequences and the cinematography was quite cool, to be honest. One more character that actually needs to be praised is the character of a policeman who works as a henchman of Jalal. He is a classical singer turned policeman, and it actually shows how well versed he is. It also helps the fact that the actor who played the character is actually a well trained classical singer in real life, and all the verses that he sang in the movie was sung by himself in the set. So it actually gave a good turn to the monotonous character of police officers that we regularly see. Coming to the directorial style of Mr. Vishal Bhardwaj in this movie, this is perhaps the first movie of Mr. Bhardwaj that is so different from his own style that we are left thinking this might not be directed by Mr. Vishal Bhardwaj himself at all. I mean, this might be the first time Mr. Bhardwaj took style over substance. I understand he took the premise of a 1995 Mumbai city and the gang war during that time as well. He took that premise and stylized it into his own way. Shakespearean style of storytelling, where the doom of a couple is already written once they first meet, but this time around he chose to change the ending a little. He chose to dramatize the action sequences and the stylizing part a little more, and that led us to a story with very little substances. And truth be told, apart from the main two leads, there is no depth in any other character, not even in the character of Avinash Tiwari as well. Coming to the action sequences as well, in certain portions it does feel like it has its convincing power. It is hyper stylized, but still the choreography and action cinematography hooks you in. But at the same time, there are certain sequences where you question the logic as well. For example, there was one sequence where Shahidh Kapoor and his gang was ambushed from both of the sides, where supposedly Shahidh Kapoor's gang was the one who was supposed to ambush them. In the contrary, they themselves got ambushed. And it's in that same sequence where we see that Shahidh Kapoor's own gang member are failing to counter the ambush and get caught or get killed mercilessly by the attackers. But at the same time, Tripti Dimri's character, who is untrained, has no battle experience prior that, no experience with gun prior that. She has trained with the gun but no experience of real life shootout, comes in, saves the day, saves them from getting executed, and becomes the hero of the match. because the MVP. So there is some continuity issue. The movie heavily depends on the performance of Tripti Dimri and Shahid Kapoor, the chemistry between Shahid Kapoor and Nana Patekar as well, and the side roles of Farida Jalal and the henchmen of Shahid Kapoor as well. But the story itself lacks the substance to pull it through. You may stay hooked in due to the performance of Shahid Kapoor, his intensity, his dark humor, and some dark humor moments of the scenes as well, where Vishal Bhardwaj in his traditional style finds humor in the most gritty and nonsensical places as well. Tripti's character, her grief, her performance, her angst, everything shows off quite well. But as I said, the stakes are not that high. You don't feel the stake to be too high because of the antagonist being so weak. He is most probably the most weakest character, most weakly written character amongst them all, due to whom all the activity that both of these characters do, Tripti and Shahid Kapoor's character do, feel unnecessary at certain point of time because he lacks the depth that was required of him. This movie was in my bucket list of must-watch movies of this year. So O Romeo in a nutshell is one of the most bizarre attempt at a commercial movie by Vishal Bhardwaj, where he tries to move away from his root, from the traditional Vishal Bhardwaj storytelling style that we have known him for, and he has tried his hand in stylized action genre as well, where the characters get a little funky touch, where the world itself is stylized in a particular way, more inspired from Western noir. It's more like a hypothetical what if the 1990s Mumbai was based on the Western cowboy land, and we have indie street fighter like gangster like Arjun Ustara and Jalaluddin himself. It's a hyper combination of 1990s Mumbai gang war with Western cowboy style and street fighter like action and a little dark twist humor of Vishal Bhardwaj as well. For me, it was a so-and-so movie. The performance of Shahid Kapoor, Nana Patekar, Tripti Dimri was quite commendable. They did their best, but the story lacks the punch, due to which I'll consider it as a time pass watch. That was my viewpoint about the movie. Tell me what you felt about the movie, if you have seen the movie as well. Tell me what are your opinion about my opinion about the movie. If you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to Omlan Rexo.